Hello everyone, welcome to Toyeen Talks. How you doing? Thank you for watching. Till I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you. Bye.
A statement from the family signed by family head Omoolayo Aloba, the singer's father Joseph Aloba, the wife of the late Mohbad, Wunmi, has been directed to stop using the family's surname pending the outcome of a court-ordered DNA test. Is wisdom not absent here?
It's difficult for me to say yes. It is not in my place. The decisions that they have taken, generally, I do not see anything wrong in it. They have appointed someone to manage the singer's estate. I cannot say it's wrong, except something is wrong with me. I cannot say that's wrong. The argument is that Mohbad's widow was never legally married to him.
Okay.
And that they should stop using the singer's surname. Again, there's a problem with that because in our customary laws, once you put a woman in the family way,
okay,
she's officially deemed to be married to you. That's strictly customary law. And you and I know that marriages are not consummated in the courts alone. So that is an issue that they have to...
traditional wedding.
Huh?
They even did traditional wedding.
Yes, the traditional wedding, and there are courts that sit on such marriages that are consummated in the traditional way.
As you said, the key thing is the two families meeting to say yes.
It's not even two families. It's one family now deciding that, look, this matter, they want it investigated afresh. But there's a problem. Because Mohbad was horribly buried,
okay,
his internal organs had been badly compromised,
okay,
to the point that it became difficult for coroners to be able to come to a reasonable conclusion on the cause of his death. But the preliminary findings made by the police pointed inexorably to the fact that the auxiliary nurse that attended to him loaded the system too much, to the point that he was already palpitating and he had goose pimples all over. And he did not even get to the hospital before he died. So this is there are problems here. You can't have a conclusive report on his death, given because it's those internal organs that they will test and all that, given the state, because he had been buried for this. We waited for so long.
Exhuming him at that point makes matters even more...
No, exhuming him came out of a desire to investigate his death. So it didn't really make matters worse. But the fact that he was horribly buried, you see, when a man dies, you want to do pathology test. That's the best time to do it, not when he's been buried for long. And you know, we tried to get a DNA report showing what exactly, but the conclusions were that his internal organs had been badly compromised because he had been buried for this before they began to conduct their examination. And for that reason, they refused to, or they couldn't come up with a definitive cause of his death. But at least the preliminary examination that the police did showed clearly that the auxiliary nurse was culpable. You don't even, why would you want to treat such
a delicate
yes, inside his house?
Oh,
if you run into a jam, there's a big problem. You then realize that some of the equipment that you need to quickly
aren't there,
help him were not there.
Yeah.
So these are the issues. I just think that this boy, there should be a closure to this boy's matter, so that he can be reburied and let him have peace even in death.
Yeah.
This on and on. I don't blame them if they are, and you know, the singer's wife has refused to surrender herself for a DNA test, despite a court giving a directive to that effect. So I can understand why some members of the family are hostile to her, and they don't believe that she should continue to bear the singer's name.
But Mayor, I'm not taking you to task, but you know there's a common balance here in Nigeria. If you want to know what can kill your papa, carry 2 coffins. You understand? So now, your reaction.
Let me start by saying that the family of Aloba are being unfair to Mohbad. Yes. Because instead of them to look at Mohbad as one human being that died very early in his prime, they are using that poor boy to do politics. And the person most guilty is the father. Since Mohbad died, the father first started using Mohbad's death to raise money online. They raised a lot of money. After that, he used that same death to kickstart his own music career. After that, they were going, it was unbelievably, he was even at a point he was wearing Mohbad's clothes, which to me is un-African. What I think should be done is that Mohbad should be buried. What they are doing now for years, that for that guy to be in the morgue was unfortunate. Because one, you cannot call for a new investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Because why you cannot call for a new investigation is that there was a police report, there was a coroner's inquest. Those are the 2 things that can be done to investigate his death. And the police investigation, the auxiliary nurse was found culpable. And in the case of the coroner inquest, there was no conclusive evidence to be able to determine the cause of death. So if you ask them to start another independent investigation, what are they going to do? Who are those people that are going to conduct that independent investigation? Because apart from police report, the only thing you can do is for government to institute a coroner's inquest. Both have been done. And yet you don't want to bury this guy because you guys were using this guy to score cheap points and to raise money. That's one. What they should do is what they have done now. Have an administrator to be able to look at the guy's assets. You understand? Insist on the DNA so that you'll be able to confirm that Liam is his son. But even if Liam is not his son, the estate of Mohbad deserves to take care of that boy. Because the boy was born when Mohbad was with the mother. Even if Mohbad is not his father, we cannot deny that Wunmi is the mother. And the poor boy did not ask anybody to come. They brought the boy. So it is fair that the interest of that boy should also be factored in. But why they are waiting...
What if the DNA report shows that
Liam is not his son? That's what I'm saying. I said even if Liam is not his son, it is better for them to factor how they can take care of the boy, because the boy will be left with the boy. When the boy came, was supposed to be Mohbad's son. The boy didn't ask anybody to bring him. And the boy is vulnerable.
When people ask for DNA tests, in this case, if the DNA result shows that that person
in dispute
was not his father, what do people do? If they are supposed to take care of him or say, okay, yes, Mohbad died without a will. But the family or the administrator of his estate can determine that, okay, since this is his son, his only child, we are going to be responsible for his upkeep throughout his academic career and all that. But if the report does not show that it's Mohbad's son, there's no way that they would, even Abiola in his will indicated that his wives, apart from Symbiote, Symbiote and the woman that died, Kudirat, apart from those children, others must be subjected to
a test,
a DNA test, before they can qualify to partake
of his
estate. So people do this because they want to establish a fact. It will be difficult for them or for us to say, you must take care of that boy, if they discover that it was actually... For me, I don't see why Wunmi will not submit to...
No, she should. I agree with that. What she's claiming is that she's not saying she's not going to agree, but that they could not, because the lawyer to the Alobas, who was the one that went to court to get that judgment of the court for a DNA, has resigned from representing them because of the problem he has with them. And you see,
but this,
they kept quarreling with everybody.
That judgment, that order of the court came a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. But they kept having problems.
To even serve her with the order of the court was a difficult thing.
True.
Okay. Yeah.
But for them to do there's nothing wrong with that. If she doesn't submit to a DNA, then she doesn't have a stand. She doesn't have a ground to stand on. Moral ground to stand on. But what I'm saying is that you can still bury the boy without the DNA. The DNA has nothing to do with the boy being buried.
That's my own position, is that it should be buried. It's about time.
It's about time.
It's the son now. We're talking about the son and the proprietary of a DNA. Because already in the public space, there is doubt about whether or not that and they used to have quarrel and all that even before the boy died. So there has to be closure even to that one.
I agree with that. Yes, there has to
be closure even to that one. The boy should not be allowed to grow and discover that this kind of controversy is on. Even in school, he will be mocked.
It's not fair to the guy.
Mocked by his colleagues at school.
But if they do DNA and they find out that Liam is his boy, then things change. Then everything has been successful must go to the boy and Wunmi.
Even the attitude to Wunmi would then change. Let me not drop this in. Even the attitude to their hostility towards her would then naturally have to change, because part of why they are hostile to her is that they are not convinced.
They are not convinced
that the boy actually belongs to
Gentlemen, we have company. We have company, and he has a way in. Let's welcome Abdurrahman. I beg your pardon. How are you? Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
my greetings to everyone in the studio. I want to contribute on the issue of the Mohbad death. I heard about the contribution of the Babajide and the other persons, sir.
Yeah.
So, but the point here is this, that we have to keep emotion aside. If Mohbad happens to be anybody's child among us, so we definitely will not take this issue as this, and to say, okay, if it happens that Liam is not even Mohbad's son, that they should put Liam into consideration. All these things are factors that lead to this guy's death. So all these things need to be looked at critically. So that is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, the insistence of the family on the woman in question to drop Mohbad's name is what troubles me. I
don't agree with that. And why I don't agree with that is that there was a traditional wedding. That is not in doubt. That is a picture when they did that. In fact, there was at the initial stage when they were talking about this issue.
Yeah.
But Mohbad's father, Mr. Aloba, said that initially what he thought was that it was going to be an introduction, and then they turned it to a traditional wedding. In our customs, a traditional wedding is accepted and legal. In Nigerian laws, a traditional wedding. Before the white men came,
after all, we are married under our native laws and customs.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't need to go to church or you go to court before your wedding, marriage is accepted. Yes, once customary rights.
Little wonder we wish a dead person, but we say, may he or she rest in peace. Mohbad.
He can't rest in peace because they're not allowing. They are not allowing him to rest in peace.
There is hostility, one, because he also refused to
do the DNA. I agree.
So go ahead.
The DNA must be done.
Yes,
the DNA must be done.
You read people asking